So yes, hello everyone. Thank you so much for joining me. My name is Michael Smith, the National Consumer Education Manager of Janome Canada. And yes, let's get on to another fabulous Janome's Magical Machine Mystery Tour. So I'm going to tip the camera so then you can see. Is it woven fabric or stretch fabric? It is woven fabric. Yes, and there's instructions. They say to you, hand wash, very simple, hang to dry. But it was the same fabric that we had at our Janome Institute last year that everybody loved. So that's why, again, we have the arrow chair covered and now the mask. So very cute. So yes, on our Janome's Magical Machine Mystery Tour, what could it be? Well, Tanya's beautiful post this morning on Instagram showed, a couple of buttons with, a beautiful red screen. So yes, what is our machine today? It's the fabulous MemoryCraft 6650. Which I absolutely love, especially with, that red accent when this machine came out. Was it last year or 2 years ago at this point? I think maybe last year. Time goes by so fast again. When I saw that beautiful red faceplate, I thought, I must have this machine. Red is my favorite color, and, red is Janome's color, so I loved that. But another reason to love this machine is it is, I call this like the little sister to the 6700P. Fabulous machine. Everybody loved that. So, I equate if the 6700P is like Barbie, the 6650P is her younger sister, Skipper. So it is the same body, the same all metal throat space, 10-inch throat space, all metal bed, and like all Janome machines, it starts out, this is not its skeleton, but it starts out with a cast aluminum skeleton, so very sturdy, and then these cast aluminum skeletons, then they get all the parts and pieces added to it. So again, very sturdy, going to last forever. Again, a little bit of care and maintenance and regular service is all you need, and you've got years and years of good use. But this body is the same as the 6700. Now, a couple of times on social media, or again, even you might have heard, maybe in a dealer store or something, sometimes people say, this 6650 was made by Janome for the mass market stores. Or the mass market outlets as well. Cause, here in Canada, at least, the 6650 is also, sometimes featured on the Canadian, shopping channel. And our friend Jennifer Tryon is there, doing presentations on the 6650. So sometimes, yes, it's on the shopping channel or again on other mass outlets. And sometimes people say, Janome made this, machine for those mass outlets. So, it's a cheaper machine as far as cheaper quality. And that I really object to. And I was so excited to present this 6650 to kind of clarify that, yes, this machine is available at some of those, mass market outlets. But, this machine is also available at many Janome dealers. Sometimes Janome, yes, does make machines that are geared for specific markets. Sometimes the US has different machines than we do in Canada. And sometimes, Janome, UK will have different machines than we will here. And so, yes, sometimes the mass market will get different machines than are typically available at dealers. But the 6650 is one of those machines that, at least here in Canada, some of our dealers do carry this in their store. And yes, it's available sometimes, again, in those mass markets as well. But just because it is available for those mass markets at a lower price point than, let's say, the 6700, for example, does not mean at all that it is lower in quality. What this means when you compare like the 6650 and the 6700, for example, is that the machine for the mass market may be slightly less features, and therefore, again, at a lower price point. So if you think of a car, same manufacturer, but they'll have different models. One model will have fabric upholstery, and one model will have leather interior. And some models are basic standard, and then others will have like for example, my car. One feature I looked for has a heated steering wheel. And again, the cars drive perfectly well, even if they don't have a heated steering wheel. They meet all the safety checks and everything. It's just one has slightly more features than the other, and therefore, of course, it has a higher price point. The more features it has, the more the higher the price. That's true of everything. So it does not mean that other model is lesser in quality. So 6650 certainly has a lot of features going for it, and I'm going to go over some of them. But for things like, for example, the difference between this and the 6700, and therefore, again, 6650 is a little bit, lesser expensive. The 6650 does not come with a knee lift, but there is one available from your Janome dealer. If you choose to purchase a knee lift, there is one available. There is a little port here for it. So again, some people love the knee lift. They use it all the time. Others don't use it at all. So again, if you don't use a knee lift, if it's not important to you, then again, why pay for it if you're not really going to use it? So with the 6650, it's an optional feature. Purchase it if you'll use it. If you're not going to use it, again, you're not paying for it. The same thing is this gorgeous, huge extension table. I can't even fit it all in. Look at that gorgeous extension table available for your 6650. But again, if you've got a machine that, recesses down into one of our like kangaroo cabinets, for example, you don't really need this big extension table if your machine recesses into a table. So therefore, again, if you don't need it, why bother paying for it, kind of thing. So again, the extension table comes included with some machines. In 6650's case, it's available if you'd like it, if you'll use it. If you're not using it, again, you're not paying for it. So I think that's, perfectly legitimate. Same with our power foot control here. This is the foot control that comes with the machine. Again, same foot control that comes with many of our machines. Works perfectly beautiful. If you would like to upgrade to a bigger foot control, then yes, that's available. Or even then you can upgrade to the foot control then with the base plate, and then even the remote thread cutter that again comes with a lot of our higher end machines. And again, if you'd like that to work with your 6650, it will work with your 6650. It's again, an optional accessory if you so choose. And again, these are the same features that come with higher end machines, whereas in 6650's case, it's an optional accessory. If you'll use it and would like it, great. You can get it readily available, but if not, then again, you're not paying for it basically if you're not going to use it. So again, how great is that? And that will keep the price point of the machine down, but again, does not mean that it is missing any features. There are still lots of features for this 6650. Now, again, comes with a instructional DVD, which is wonderful. Has the instruction book, which is wonderful. And it even has this little kind of like quick start guide as well. So kind of like a cheat sheet. So I thought, that was really cool too, to explain, some of the basic functions of the machine. So isn't that great? So literally right out of the box, you can get going. So that is wonderful. But again, some of those fabulous features. For example, not only, again, that beautiful 10-inch throat space, the beautiful LED lighting, that certainly shares with the 6650, or 6700, shares the same LED lighting and this 10-inch throat space, all metal throat space, but also too, this one-touch Needle plate removal, again, that one-touch needle plate removal is a higher-end feature in many of our machines. You have it here with your 6650. A number of our higher-end machines have the double. They come with 2 needle plates. So there's our regular zigzag needle plate. Now, the machine also comes with a straight stitch needle plate with the center hole there. Then again, that's great. I use it for when I'm doing, if I'm doing piecing, particularly piecing like triangles, so they don't get, pushed down into the mouth of the zigzag opening. But when you're doing like free motion quilting, for example, they recommend using the straight stitch needle plate. So that's great to use. So that comes included with your machine. But did you know the fabulous HP needle plate and HP foot, which come with the 6700, but these are optional accessories. Again, if you want them, if you'll use them, these are optional accessories that you can get for your 6650, that when I snap the HP needle plate into the machine, then my screen here changes. I gotta lower the foot. And then it says, make sure proper presser foot is attached. And you see on the screen, it recognizes the HP needle plate. And then it's recommending I use the special HP foot. This foot is the perfect, a lot of us love it for that perfect scant 1/4 of an inch when we're piecing, particularly like a quilt block, for example, that's got multiple seams. This little scant foot is perfect for that your block will finish at the correct size using this little foot, and again, that special HP needle plate. Now again, these do not come with the machine, but they are an optional accessory if you so choose. So that is great. The HP foot, when a lot of us like using it for that accurate guide, 1/4 of an inch, like top stitching, or around curves because of its lower profile, that it really, is great around curves. So again, optional accessories, but it will work. These kind of higher end needle plates, our 6700 comes with the HP needle plate, 9450, 15,000 M7 come with the HP needle plate. And then again, 6650, you can use the optional accessory of the HP needle plate. So you're getting those higher end features with your 6650 if you so choose. So that's fabulous. I'm going to snap back on my regular needle plate. And I might as well talk about it while I'm here. So the accessory case, this is another fabulous optional accessory for any machine. This is the one that comes with 6700, and I believe it comes with, does it come with 9450? It also comes with Continental M7, but this is a cool accessory case that will fit your extra needle plates. This is all great to line up your bobbins there. And again, all your presser feet, regardless of what machine you have, but it's very cool. So again, another optional accessory, which is great. The machine does come with a variety of presser feet. Again, fully explained in your manual. Can the HP foot fit an 8900? No, it does not. The machine won't recognize that it has that HP needle plate on. However, in order to get a scant 1/4, again, if you could move your needle position over a little bit more to the right, and that will help. But yes, so this is everything that the machine comes with. So again, with that straight stitch needle plate, the automatic buttonhole foot, a lot of people love it, where you drop in your button in the back here, and that sizes your buttonhole exactly. There's our regular standard A foot or zigzag foot, but again, with our blind hem foot and zipper foot, with a rolled hem foot, this is the M or overcast foot that mimics doing the overcast like of a serger. It does everything the same thing as a serger does as far as overcasting your fabric. It just doesn't trim the fabric. But, you know, all of these feet I demoed on the Janome HQ A to Z with Janome series. So you can go back to review a demo of each of these feet. And these are all 9mm as well. The 6650 is a high shank 9mm machine. There's the PDH darning foot, again, which I also demoed as part of the A to Z with Janome series. So that comes with. And then, one of my favorite all-time feet, the convertible free motion foot. This is great. It has this adjustable screw here that basically will raise and lower your foot to your fabric. So great for free motion quilting. And again, you've got the three different options of like a closed toe, there's an open toe, and then this, I often call it the dinner plate, but again, is great that you can see through the clear view foot. But this convertible free motion foot, again, a lot of people ask us about ruler quilting. So an option for the 6650, since you already have this convertible free motion part, an option to do ruler quilting is if you get the free motion frame quilting foot set, again, available from any Janome dealer. And what it has is I just have to open the package here. And again, full instructions on the blister pack. But what it has is a little, I should have taken it out of the package earlier. What it has is a foot, that looks like that again will fit on the bottom of your convertible free motion foot set. So this would be an excellent ruler option, ruler quilting option, because of that higher profile there. So you wouldn't have to worry about your rulers going under the foot. So that is an option for ruler quilting. Again, since this portion already comes with your machine. But Janome now also has a separate dedicated ruler foot. Again, you see it looks very much similar to it. This ruler foot has the little divots in the foot here at the front, and there's a little divot at the side. So you just see your needle a little bit better. So that's an option for ruler quilting, or again, since you already have the convertible free motion foot set, then you could just get this free motion frame quilting set and use that portion for your ruler quilting. So again, lots of options depending on what you choose to do with your machine. Is it available separately? The convertible free motion set? This is available, yes, in a separate blister pack with, again, the 3 feet, the open toe, the closed toe, and the clear view. This convertible free motion set, yes, is available for high shank machines and low shank machines in a separate blister pack. So again, a couple of other things, spool pins, your quilting guide bar is great. A couple of extra bobbins. But, speaking of bobbins, look what else just came into our warehouse very recently. These beautiful red bobbins. So, how perfect that I can match my red bobbins to my red 6650. Now, these red bobbins came about from our special Canadian Quilts of Valor machine that was released this summer. And it came with special red bobbins. And, many people said, can I get those red bobbins? Not only for my special commemorative Quilts of Valor machine, but also, hey, I just like these red bobbins. I personally love them. Again, red's my favorite color, and it is Janome's color. But, if you would like to keep like your polyester thread wound on a separate bobbin and your cotton thread wound on a separate bobbin, or you want your like invisible thread wound on certain bobbins, then which thread is which based on your color of your bobbins. We also have blue bobbins and pink bobbins. So it's great. And again, these red, I loved with that red faceplate. Or again, another beautiful, red, beautiful accessory to match with your 6650. This Janome, scissor case. Isn't that gorgeous? I have coveted this scissor case for I can't even tell you how long, that I've wanted one for so many years now. I've been with Janome about 4 years, and I've wanted this scissor case pretty much that whole time. Finally, we have more back in stock. They probably aren't going to last long, especially now as we're gearing up towards the holidays, but they're absolutely fantastic. So perfect accessory for any machine, that's for sure. All these gorgeous scissors for any kind of purpose. There's even one of those surgical seam rippers there. So anything that you possibly need, again, a great accessory for any machine. But I love that red case, of course. So yeah, some of the fantastic features of the machine. Oh, that telescoping thread stand. Absolutely wonderful, especially for high-speed sewing, for the optimum thread delivery. This is the kind of feeding system of, again, industrial high-power machines. The 6700 and the Continental M7, have this, or the previous predecessors of 6650, have the vertical spool pins at the back with the telescoping thread stand included. So great, again, for high-speed sewing. The 6650, I believe, is 1,000 stitches per minute. 6700 is 1,200 stitches a minute. So again, 1,000 stitches a minute, that's still really fast. So one thing I love about it here is the stitch chart. How convenient is that to hang at the back of your machine up out of the way, and then you can, take it out and flip it around. It's got monograms built in as well. And a lot of the same stitches. One thing I love about Janome is, again, based on the machine, it'll have a lot of these same stitches. And as you go up the Janome line, they just keep adding more and more and more. Now, they may be different number of stitches on the different machines, but again, all of these stitches, again, are built into so many Janome machines. So you already recognize a lot of them. So my stitch chart just comes back up there, which is great. Now, one reason why people really love the 6700 and 6650 here, they like to see when you adjust the tension here, you've got a knob to turn. This is, I call it the old-fashioned beehive tension. But many of us, learn to sew. If we've been sewing for many years, we learned to sew on machines that had this. So again, it's very familiar, and you can see when you're adjusting it. And same with this is the pressure on our presser foot. If we want to increase the pressure, we're going to turn the little lever so it's a higher number. And if we're going to decrease the tension, we can turn the knob. And again, we see that little lever move up. So we're lightening the pressure. So again, we see it. It's a little more familiar. It does have a needle threader, of course. And one thing I love is the screen, the LCD screen, is that they recommend, again, not only the foot to use, but the tension, and then again, what your foot pressure will be. So all that information is here on your LCD screen. So it's a great combination of sort of, I'd say like old school as far as I've got knobs to push for my stitch length and stitch width. I can adjust here with the knobs, but then I also have the integration of, again, more modern technology of the beautiful bright LCD screen, so we can see what's happening. So also other fabulous features. Ooh, hello everyone. Thank you for joining me. This machine has memory. So when we want to design a stitch combination, again, we can look up our stitch chart, but when we want to program in, I'm going to switch to my modes for my decorative stitches. If we want to program in a stitch combination, I'll do 134. And then I have this memory button. So then I can start, you'll see my little cursor here. I can start adding pattern combinations. This will ultimately take 50 pattern combinations. And I just keep hitting memory for how I want my pattern combination to be. So there's my little design. If I want to save this to the memory of my machine, I can select as my favorite stitch. Oh, you'll see I already have some combinations in here that I have saved. So I can just go in and create another folder that, again, I can save into the memory, or I can also retrieve from the memory. This is all walked through the instruction manual, and then there's my cute little pattern. Then I can stitch out. The machine also has a stop-start button, so for those who are more comfortable with the stop-start button, you do also have a speed control, so you can slow it down. And then again, you could unplug your foot pedal and just use stop-start as well. Oh, another thing I love too, this extra high presser foot lift. A lot of our Janome machines have this feature, but I love in the 6650, 6700 also has this extra high presser foot lift, and it stays there. And I must admit, not even my top of the line Memorycraft 15,000, it has a extra high pressure foot lift, but it doesn't stay in place, hands free, the way it does on this 6650. So that's one feature I really love. So when you're doing your heavy duty sewing and you're doing your big thick layers and, all your quilting and your bag making and such, that extra high pressure foot lift that stays up hands free is perfect. So you can get all your layers in there. So here's my beautiful pattern combination. Whenever I want it to stop stitching after the end of a pattern, I just hit my little lock button and it'll sew to the end of that pattern and then stop. Now I've got the option, the needle up down button, absolutely love. Again, a lot of our, higher end machines have these features of the lock button, reverse button, needle up down, the scissor button. So great. There's my beautiful stitch combination. Now, anytime we're doing decorative stitches, again, we're going to use stabilizer. And where does the stabilizer come from? I know you'll be aghast to realize, oh yes, it's going to be our Madeira stabilizer starter pack. I have talked about this. I don't even know how many times I've lost count. I absolutely love this Madeira stabilizer starter pack. Again, available from any Janome dealer. Elna dealers probably would sell it too. But this starter pack I love because, again, there's 12 different stabilizers in it, and it comes with this fabulous book so you can learn all about which stabilizers to use for what product. And whenever you have just even the tiniest little scrap left over, nothing goes to waste. You'll use these little scraps for your decorative stitches, and depending on your application, you could tear some of the stabilizers are, tear away, or again, some of them are iron on or water soluble. So, depending on your application, you use the appropriate stabilizer. But again, how perfect is that for your decorative stitches? That again, you can create a whole pattern combination of 50 stitches to all stitch out in a row. Or let's say with that favorite stitch option, then you can create, for example, here in this stitch number 1, the stitch needle position is at 4.5, and then the stitch length is 2.4, which is the default, which is why it has brackets. But, if I want to change that to, let's say I want my default stitch length at a 3.0, again, I can select it in my favorite stitch and select my memory. There, I want to save it. And again, the folder in is number 1. Click on that. There's my favorite stitch. And it even says favorite stitch, like FS. So if I go around and I select other stitches, but go back to my number 1, there it says favorite stitch. So it will always be saved and go as default, basically. When you want to remove that, then you can again go back to your folder, go back to your memory, and then number 2 is that little trash can. So I select number 2, restore to defaults, M is okay. I hit that, you hear that beep. And now again, I select other stitches, I go back to number 1, and you'll see it's back to 2.4, the default. So you've got that built-in memory. Again, higher end machines have that, where there's a lot of sort of editing you can do with your machine. One thing I love as well, let's select this cute little shoe. In mode number 2 and 166 is my little shoe. Who doesn't love shoes? But Another editing feature I love is this mirror button. It looks like a circle divided in 4. And what this is mirroring. So with this shoe, for example, I'm going to stitch out this shoe. And after every time I'm done a shoe, I'm going to hit the mirror button here. So there's my shoe that I just stitched. Oh, but now it's done a vertical flip, a mirror image. So now I can stitch that out. So again, depending on what you're stitching, what application is, sometimes again, you want to flip your stitch around, then you can do that. And then I'm going to go back now. I can do a horizontal flip. So there's so many options you have built into this machine. So again, by no means are you sacrificing quality, or you're not sacrificing features. Again, one more mirror image. Again, even if you purchase this machine, again, at a mass store as opposed to, a dealer, you're not sacrificing the quality of the machine by any means. You may have a little less included with the machine, but the quality of the machine, the features of the machine, you have a lot of those built in. So how cool is that? So again, there is so much you could do. Another feature, again, that a number of our higher end machines have, this twin needle function. You have a twin needle that comes with this machine, and this is like the twin needle guard, basically, that it is going to prevent you from selecting a stitch that's not compatible with a twin needle. So again, if I tried to stitch my shoes, for example, with that twin needle, it's telling me, no, you can't do that. So again, I love the machines that think a little bit for me. I'm always in such a hurry. So again, by having the machine do some thinking for me, it'll prevent making some mistakes. So that twin needle guard is a great feature as well. So yes, then you also have in your set menu, there's a lot of customizing you can do. Again, whether or not you want, after your lock stitches, do you want your scissors to automatically cut? Do you want your needle to stop in the fabric or to stop, out of the fabric? So in this case, I can go down and select, if I want my needle down, again, a great pivoting feature. Especially if you're doing, again, lots of, quilting, then again, I can select, do I want my needle to be in the down position or the up position? And whatever I choose, I just set M is my okay. So very user-friendly to use as well to navigate through the screen, but again, fully described in your instructions. This resume feature here is a great feature. Again, a lot of our higher end machines have that as well, that if you then are sewing any kind of decorative stitch, or again, your piecing stitch, and you're done for the day, you turn your machine off. If you have this resume, hit OK, the next time you turn your machine on, it will go back to that stitch. Your favorite stitch. Again, if you, would like that selected, let me go back to that. Favorite stitch here. Again, if I want to create or save my own customization to my stitches, and my pattern combinations, I select that to make sure it's okay. And then, bob and winding speed. Often we have been asked on other machines, can I control the speed that my machine winds the bobbin? So here, yes, you can select it and change the speed for winding your bobbin. So again, lots of customization you can do. And then I'll click OK. And yes, get out of there. Now, something else, again, I see, my time is going by so fast, as always. There's so much I want to show you. But something else that I love too is this E. And you may wonder, and this, again, feature is on a number of our machines, again, particularly of some higher end machines, the E function. So if I select my stitch, I just did 112, and again, I'm just looking up at my stitch chart up here. But you see on your screen there, oh, it says E times 1. And many times people wonder, what is that? And this, again, feature is built into a lot of our Janome machines. And the E refers to this button is E for elongation. So if there is my stitch, and every time I hit that E button, my stitch is going to elongate. So here's my regular stitch. And again, every time I hit that bullseye, that lock button, it's going to stop after the end of my pattern. So there's my regular stitch stitched out. And then I'm going to hit the E for elongation. And I've got ultimately 5 times that I can do. So there's number 2. I'm going to hit it one more time to go up to number 3 and even number 4. So then you can really see the difference. Now on the machine, I've got the F foot, which comes with the machine. That's our satin stitch foot. The stitch we're going to use anytime we want to do decorative stitches. So I've already got that on the foot. And again, by having that satin stitch foot, underneath, there's a groove on the foot, so that allows our decorative stitches to form. So how cool is that? It's the same stitch, but this is just elongated. So isn't that a very cool, fun feature built into the machine? And you may wonder, well, when in the world would I ever use that? Well, how cool is that? How about dragonflies? Isn't that cute? That was built with all that same stitch, but I just adjusted for the elongation to be different, so you can do a lot of fun decorative things. And even here on the border, I used elongation. Again, this stitch is built in, these satin stitches built into a number of our machines, but I elongated them. So they're just getting a little longer in between. So you can produce a lot of really cool effects. So it makes it look like as well that there's more features built in, more stitches built into the machine than there is. There's already quite a lot. But again, with that elongation function, now it looks like even more, ooh, look at those scallops. Like, how pretty is that? So again, there's a lot of cool things you can do with that elongation. And again, makes it look like you've got even more. Now, elongation in particular is very helpful if you have our circular attachment, or again, can easily get that from your dealer. The circular attachment I demoed on the A to Z with Janome series. And you see as my circles were going around, using the, again, decorative stitches built into the machine, based on the elongation, that also helped me match up the beginning and the end by adjusting not only the radius of my circle, but also the elongation of the stitch. So that's something else that you can play around with and match. Like there, it matched perfectly. That really wasn't too bad at all. It overlapped a little bit. You know, there it overlapped a little bit, but I could always remove a couple of stitches and it would be perfect. So again, you can play around with, again, your circular attachment, again, adjusting the width of your circle, but also the elongation of your stitch. So lots you can do to play. Ooh, something else I wanted to show you all. Of that HP needle plate, of when would you use it? Oh, I've shown this beautiful girl sometimes on Janome HQ. These little seams of her dress, again, they're about 1/8 of an inch apart. So I used the HP needle plate and the HP foot when I sewed this little Barbie dress because those seams are so close together. I needed a nice narrow foot in order to get in there and not, have everything in the way. So that's another good spot to use the HP needle plate and foot is little things, like Barbie clothes. Now the 6650, in order to do, if I'm going to be doing quilting, for example, a foot, I love, again, an optional accessory that your machine does not come with, like a walking foot per se, but the convertible even feed foot set. There is a high shank model and there's a low shank model. So 6650. is high shank. Does this machine have the AccuFeed? Oh, Cheryl, I'm so glad that you asked that. No, that is, again, another difference between the 6700. It has the AccuFeed, which is basically like a built-in walking foot. I often say it's like a walking foot on steroids. But the 6650, it does not have AccuFeed built into it. And again, that's one thing that has influenced its price. So the alternative then, since it doesn't have the walking foot like built into it and doesn't come with the machine, this is a fabulous walking foot, convertible even feed foot set. And again, full instructions on the back of the blister pack. But one thing I love about it, because you really get a big bang for your buck, that there is your walking foot, and again, fits over the needle bar. So there's your walking foot with the upper feeding mechanism. But then your foot there's the open toe foot. You can squeeze the foot and change out the plate. So this is very much like our AccuFeed system, that again, we've got interchangeable feet, or I often call these shoes. With our AccuFeed system, you can change the feet, you can change the shoes. So here, with the convertible even feed foot set available for the 6650, then you get that same changeability. So there's the open toe version, and then I could put on the closed toe version. Oops, I snap it into place. There's the closed toe version. And then it comes with these very cool guide bars. So these slip in. And so here, if I want, to do some stitch in the ditch, for example, turn them the right way. That helps. This is the adjust. If I want to do a 1/4 inch, or I want a guide, basically, this is an adjustable guide, so it's not just a 1/4 of an inch. But if I want this guide and do, again, some, if I'm sewing down my binding, or I'm doing, again, some quilting, I have this adjustable guide, and I've got like the groove here. So this would be great if I was, again, sewing down my binding, and if I wanted my fabric to ride up against that guide, or again, I could put this over as a guide of where I'm going to be doing my stitching. Or then, yes, we've got this guide. Oh no, I'm getting confused here. This is the, yes, I'm getting confused here. That's the guide at the side. That's for the guide at the side. And then this one is your stitch in the ditch version. Sorry, I'm getting all confused. But again, this is why you read the back of your blister pack, because it tells you full instructions. This is the one if I want to do stitching in the ditch. This is the guide I use, because yes, it fits right down the middle of the foot. And then this is the guide if you want, again, at the side of your fabric to bunch into that. So yeah, sorry for the confusion. I was even confusing myself. So I'm like, no, that's the way it works. But again, full instructions on the back of the blister pack. So that's available for your 6650. So yes, again, I could go on forever, but I'm already running long. So I'm going to flip this around and say thank you, everyone, for joining me. I hope you've all had a fabulous day. Thank you so much for joining me from the Janome Sewing and Learning Center. And I will see you all again next Wednesday as we do another Janome's Magical Machine mystery tour. And again, for more accessories for the 6650 to see is available, you can always check your Janome Bilingual Accessories Guide on the janome.ca website, and janome.com as well. But janome.ca, we've got the bilingual guide. So then you can double check and see what's available. Again, for the 6650 is high shank 9mm machine. So all the extra pressure feet and everything, again, a lot of those I demoed in the Janome A to Z series are all available here in the accessories guide. And then again, pick those up from your fabulous Janome dealer. So thank you, everyone, for joining me. I hope you have a fabulous day. Thank you. Bye.